For the third time this week, we're at Kyoto Ring GP Long Reversed, and I'm going to be sick of saying that by the end of tonight, but hopefully you won't be bored of seeing it, because we've got two 16-lap races around here tonight in the Fox as part of the Fragmasters Fox Friday series here in Live for Speed. I'm Peter Butcher, you're watching Sim Broadcasts. No Michael Malik with me tonight, but I do have Chris McElroy with me, keeping everything on track. So let's get straight on with tonight's proceedings. First of all, let's begin with the track that we're going to be racing at again. Same combination as Tuesday during RTFR, slight variation on Wednesday for the B2R Turbo Cup. But tonight it's two races, each just over half an hour in length, and it's going to be 16 laps each around the 7.4 kilometre, 4.6 mile Kyoto Ring Grand Prix Long Reversed configuration here today. Fragmasters will be continuing their Fox Friday calendar until the end of the year. We're going to broadcast at least one more. We don't know which one yet, which is why our calendar ends today. But yes, round 49 tonight, and that concludes the provisional schedule for this season. So yeah, enjoy while you can, and we will be back for hopefully one more round before the end of the year. If you're not already familiar, well, here it is, the Formula XR, the 2-litre inline-4 mid-engine rear-wheel drive car, half a tonne and about 200 brake horsepower, so plenty of power, plenty of downforce, making most of the corners around Kyoto Grand Prix Long pretty much flat out. So that bodes well for tonight. Let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship standings to begin with, and then we'll move on to the teams before we get going for the qualifying session, which has just kicked off in the background. It is a long outlap, so we have a little bit of time to go through these. But look at that. Gabor leads the way for Sidus with TJ for Roda Praiser, some 200 points now behind him in the standings. Gabor pretty much has one hand on the trophy for this year in this series, which I'm sure he would be delighted to take away. TJ is a multiple-time champion of this series, and Gabor would surely love to add his name to the trophy once again. So there we are. Roger Chen in P3. Fatal, Zesty, Onifus, Rex, Habidi, Alpayson and RD2 are the top 10. We have, as usual, an enormous list of drivers to go through. So yes, thank you to all of them for turning up and competing in at least one of the rounds to score at least 1 point to make it onto our standings table. All eyes then on the top two in the championship for tonight's action, Gabor versus TJ. And we'll have to see how they do during the qualifying session, because there are a number of names who would really like to spoil each of their party. We've got a fleet of FM drivers as usual. We've also got Isaac Price in the server. Gabor's teammate Botsy has come along for the ride as well. So plenty of competition out there tonight, which should make this one pretty unforgettable. Speaking of unforgettable, remember back just 4 short weeks ago to what was probably one of the most epic commentary, one of the epic races, one of the most epic races I've ever commentated on. 2 races around Blackwood in the Fox, which ended in a stunning finish. Go and check it on our channel if you can after today's action. And here they are, the 175 drivers who've competed this season and have scored a point. A massive amount of drivers, which is a testament to the fact that this series is still attracting plenty of drivers to give it a go. Over in the teams standings at the top, it's Rhoda Praiser. And here, actually, I think Chris has added the drivers to make this a little bit easier for me. So that's a nice addition. So we can see actually who is involved in each of these teams in the championship. And look how close it is between Sidus and Rhoda Praiser. So I'm guessing that's why the names are now on here. Gabor and Botsy are carrying all those points in P2, trying to get up to the top spot. Fragmasters, Fatal and Onifus also very, very close. So the team's championship still to be decided. This is going to go down to the wire. Remember, there are a couple more rounds to the end of the year. This isn't decided tonight. We're going to try and bring you either the 700th Fragmasters Fox Friday or the season finale. We'll have to skip over this. We can maybe go over it later because we have the final car crossing the line in qualifying, or rather the first car about to cross the line in qualifying. So yeah, over to the track. I think we've come on to watch Leandro, who is about to cross start finish, to set what will be the first time in our qualifying session here today. Across start finish he comes to set a time of 2 minutes 15.94. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Next, I believe it's going to be Roger Chen, who will come across the line to set his timed lap. Just coming through the final corner now, number 23. And expect this to be, in fact, a 2 minute 15.94 is a decent time around here. So let's see what everyone else manages. Roger Chen goes slightly better, 0.7 of a second. Next, it's Al Payson for Fragmasters. Going to see a little bit more from him. Pretty much the entire final sector. Here he comes down this run to the final complex of corners. A great opportunity to slipstream past at the end of the lap if you get a good exit. But this car is really difficult to follow through some of the higher speed corners. So most of the overtaking is going to be left for the oval and this long straight down to turn number 1. Across start finish for Al Payson. And he goes P3 at 21.14. He must have had an issue on that lap. There's no way that is a representative lap time from Al. Finn UK will be next across the line, but we're watching Onifus. He's just coming on to start his flying lap. Here is Finn onto the home straight. Onifus is on the lap as well, so we'll go to him next actually. And there we are, Finn UK across the line, faster than his teammate. Unsurprisingly, Al there just not a representative time at all. And Onifus is at the final corner. Let's see what he can manage in the qualifying session. We've got a lot of fast drivers coming up in this session as well. So qualifying is going to be pretty interesting as Onifus goes P2, not able to beat Roger Chen's time. 0.07 of a second off Roger. So yeah, Roger will probably end up disrupting the team's championship battle as Strutter comes onto the home straight to finish our quartet of Fragmasters drivers. So Santu Sara not here, Fragmasters Fatal, to score any more points for FM, for the FM's first team. Next across the line is going to be Friends United Rocket. We will see what he can manage in the session. As tight a line as possible to start finish. You'll see all the drivers using the apron, and Rocket goes 5th, splits the Fragmasters drivers. Rex for the good drivers team will be the next driver to complete a lap. This will be 8 8 drivers, and Zesty goes on to provisional pole, 0.08 of a second faster than Roger Chen. As we see Rex take provisional pole, and we're on board now with Zesty. We're watching Zesty, who's just beginning a lap. It'll be Adal who comes across the line next to complete his first time lap, or his only time lap rather. This is a one-shot qualifying session. You only get one out lap, one hot lap to set your best, and it's P6 provisionally for Adal, but a lot of drivers left to go, including Joni Katila, who is about to start a lap. We'll get back to him soon. There he is in his Alfa Romeo livery. And it's Johnny SVK, Fragmaster race car, who will be the next to cross the line. This is Johnny SVK's second appearance, or third appearance, I think, for MRC on our channel. And he goes P6, steals it away from his teammate. Another Master Race Car driver coming through as well. I think we've got 3 more of them, actually, to complete a lap. We've got Zesty and Tallenberg also out on a lap. So, and Kig as well. Happy D across the line, P4 provisionally. Decent lap that. The top is starting to get pretty close. Here's Joni again. He's on the oval now, winding up a lap, trying to get all of his lines perfect. He's only just joined the server, I think. So not too much preparation. As we swing the cameras to Kig, who is just coming up to the start-finish to finish his lap. Let's see where he places in this qualifying session. His best lap, a 2:18, so P10. As we pan to his teammate Zesty, who we expect to do somewhat better. Let's see what he can manage. The 15:04 is provisional pole by 0.8 of a second for Zesty. Good effort that. Tallenberg is in the final corner, who will round out the... Sorry, yes, he will round out the MRC drivers. Across start finish, it's P9 only for Tallenberg. He would have hoped for more than that, I'm sure. And it's going to be a bit of a wait, I think, because I think Ayub is the next car. Oh, no. Joni will be the next car across the line. Ayub will be coming across the line slightly later. And here is Joni. Let's see what he's managed to do on his out lap and fastest lap. Let's see what he can do. It's pole by 100th of a second over Zesty. Only 100th of a second. Here's Isaac Price. He's in the sweeps. As we have a look at another world-class Lions driver. Only 2 on the server as I currently speak. Joni and Pekka Koivunen. And let's see what Pekka can do. P9. So yeah, not able to really get involved in the top drivers there. He'll be disappointed with that. But next we've got our champion. It's TJ. What can he do? He's in the running for the championship, but he's got a lot of work to do, and that's not going to be the way he wants to start it. Onto the grass out of the final corner. That will have slowed him down a lot. So qualifying already compromised. The whole event already compromised for TJ. Let's see what happens with that. Yeah, it's not good. It's P7. He'll be really frustrated by that final corner. Only P7 for TJ. Really needed a good run there. As we watch Abe now coming through the final kind of bend here. Start finish straight across start finish, and he takes P9. Everyone seems to be inserting themselves into P9 and bunching everybody back down. So Koivunen finds himself pushed out of the top 10. And here comes another Road Appraiser driver. It's Doctor now. Where will he go? Let's see what he can do. And Doctor goes P7, just ahead of his teammate, so that's unusual. Don't tend to see Doctor out qualifying TJ, but there we go. A small mistake was all it took. As we now have Mantas coming across the line. And P8 for Mantas. Again, another driver who would definitely have hoped for better. We're watching Botev going through that corner. We've got Boy coming up to the final corner, but we'll watch Botev through the sweeps, see a little bit of something different of this track. And then we'll give Boy his airtime. Here he is, coming up to the start-finish line. And over the white and black line he goes for P19, so not a strong qualifying, but plenty of opportunities in the race to see how he can manage. Borislav Botev for Fast and Crazy Sim Sports is next. Lots and lots of experience. Let's see how his flying lap has come together. Committed through the final corner, that's for sure. And then off onto the start-finish straight. The classic green livery of the FNC team, and it is going to be just P14. So again, work to do in the race. But let's take a look at Isaac Price, one of the most experienced LFS drivers. Goes P6, so let's see what he can manage in the races. A decent qualifying time, 0.3 of a second off Yoni. And now we've got Joa Moll, the number 13. Moll will be the next car across the line, using what looks to be a Williams F1 inspired livery. Through the final chicane he comes. And then a straight shoot for the start-finish line. Heroloco will be the next car. Let's see what he can manage. Very, very closely followed by Heroloco. P16 only. So Heroloco there. Kirku will be the next car, as Heroloco buries his car into the gravel trap after the first chicane. And final corner, final complex for Kirku. Let's see where he goes. Still left to come across the line. We've got Nacho, Botsi, Gabor, and Dula's there as well. As Kirku goes P21 with that, so outside the top 20. And Dula is just starting a lap, so only just getting going. We'll pick up with him in a minute, but let's turn our attention to Martins. Number 29 using a Golf inspired livery there. Through the final chicane. And this is where the drivers in the races are going to be trying to get as close as possible to that square or rectangular rear wing to get the best slipstream possible down start finish. Saw some brilliant finishes this week. 26th for Martins, so not a strong qualifying for him, but plenty of work to do in the race. Plenty of opportunities in race 1. And if you finish P15, you get pole for race 2. How about that? Nacho, another driver for the Moll team, using that Williams F1 inspired livery. And across start finish he comes in P26 again, just behind his teammate, 3 places behind his teammate. Botsi through that corner and into the sweepers. He'll be the next across the line for the Sidus team, the first of 2 Sidus drivers here tonight. It's Gabor who will be next. Mandula will be the next car across start finish as he comes through the final chicane. The race green driver. Remember, we've got 2 16-lap races to look forward to. The first will be the grid for the first race will be determined by this qualifying session as Mandula goes P21. And now it's Botzi for Sidus. First of the Sidus drivers to set a lap time. And let's see, can he get anywhere near Yoni's time at the front? P4, so shuffling a few drivers down the grid. Second row of the grid provisionally there for Botzi. Here's Kid, using the pseudonym Vincent Adultman. I'm never sure why. I know it's a BoJack Horseman reference, but still. Gabor will be coming across start-finish now. Let's see what he can manage. It's pole by a whopping, what is that, 2.5 tenths? Unbelievable. Quarter of a second faster than anyone else for Gabor. And almost half a second faster than his teammate. Unbelievable pace in qualifying there. Vermillion will be the next across the line. Vermillion, sorry. This is an outlap for Vermillion, so it's going to be a while before we get a time. But yeah, the 31 drivers who've already set a time will have Gabor and Yoni provisionally on the front row, with Zesty and Rex on the second row. And it was Rex who shocked everybody last time with that fantastic win in race 2. Was caught on several occasions by Gabor, but was able to defend it so well, and ended up winning race 2 ahead of Gabor. I implore you, if you haven't seen that second race from last time out, go and watch it. It was drama from start to finish. A brilliant race to watch, a brilliant race to commentate, and I'm pretty sure a brilliant race to be a part of. Gabor said afterwards how much he enjoyed it, and I think Rex was too sweaty and flustered really to enjoy the moment, but I'm sure he'll appreciate the race after the fact. As we get our first glimpse of what they've done to the chicane here to make it a little bit faster. You can take all the liberties you want through there. And then out onto the oval before cutting into Spoon Corner, this parabolic right-hander, almost, well, just over 180 degrees, and then out towards the infamous that corner. Less dodgy in this direction, but can still throw drivers out onto the gravel on the outside of the underpass, which you're going to see flash through your screen now. And then out into the sweeping section before the final the final sector. Less interesting in this direction, I think, but still really, really challenging when you're in a group where you're trying to effect an overtake. And then into the final sector for Vermillion. What will this lap time be? Looks pretty smooth. A little bit wide of the apex at the exit, not getting the power down as quickly maybe as he could. Also sporting what looks to be a little bit of left front end plate damage, so been into a tyre or something, or into one of the track paraphernalia. We've got suspension damage on the front left of that car, so compromising the lap and then looping it at the final corner. Oh my! That will not be making it up the order. That'll be a solid P32, I think. We'll watch him across the line, and then we'll swing the cameras to Kid. So Vermillion goes to the back, and let's see what Kid manages. 28th, so not that much better either, but still inside the top 30. And that concludes the 30 drivers that will start this race, I believe, as all the drivers now exit the pit lane for their practice session. All right, so as we watch the drivers emerge for a little bit of reconnaissance, a little bit of practice, let's look at the qualifying results. It's Gabor who takes the pole position with a 2-minute 14.78, quarter of a second ahead of Yoni Katila for World Class Lines, going under the name of the pseudonym of True Alpha. Then we've got Zesty, who will be on row 2 alongside Rex, the winner from race 2. And we've got Botsy, Roger Chen, Onifus, Isaac Price, Happy D and Doctor, your top 10. Mantas and TJ will share row 6. Strutter and Ayub, row 7. Leandro and Pekka Koivunen, row 8. Botev and Yaroloko, row 9. And Johnny SVK and Talambo, the teammates, will share row number 10. Over on the second page of results, we've got Adal, Rocket, Mandula, Kirku, Kig, Joa, Boy, Kid, FinUK, and Nacho. And then in P31 downwards, we've got Martins, Alpayson, and Vermilion. Alpayson with an unrepresentative lap time there. Expect to see him climb up the order during race 1. And remember that the top 15 after race 1 will be reversed for the start of race number 2. Which will both be 16 laps long tonight. So if you're just joining us, here is what you've got to look forward to. We've just concluded the one-shot qualifying session, and then we're going to move on to 2 16-lap races around Kyoto Ring Grand Prix Long Reversed, the third such appearance of this track this week. First RTFR on Tuesday, then a slightly modified version at the Born to Race Turbo Cup. And it gets its third appearance in a week here at Fox Friday. Just a coincidence. That wasn't planned. It's just been a week of Kyoto, which is no bad thing. But I'll be glad for a bit of change next week. 3 minutes until the start of race number 1, which gives us time to recap the all-important team and drivers championship standings. Let's start with the teams, because this is a story. Only 41 points separating the Sidus team and Road Appraiser. DJ and Doctor there teamed together to try and beat Gabor and Sidus, Gabor and Botsy. All 4 of those drivers are in attendance today. So if TJ and Doctor don't have a good result, then Gabor and Botsy had better hope they're in a good position to score some valuable points in that table. Onifus and Fatal are a fair distance ahead of MRC. I'm not sure they are really touchable until the end of the year, but Fatal is not here, so they aren't moving forward anytime soon, even though the gap to Sidus is only 17 points. So Onifus will have to do all the work on his own. And we'll let these graphics slide on by as well, so you can see all the teams that have been represented here. And we can switch our attention to the Drivers' Championship once again. There are plenty of them, as I'm sure you're aware. 175 in total. It's Gabor who leads the championship by almost 200 points ahead of TJ, and that is a lead that will be tough for TJ to damage at this stage, especially with the qualifying performance he just put on. TJ will start this race in 12th place. Gabor will start from a dominant pole position. TJ will be possibly handing the trophy over to Gabor unless something happens to Gabor. Roger Chen there in P3, decent results so far, and then Fatal, the final car inside over the 1,000 points mark. But as I mentioned before, only 4 Fragmasters drivers here today, and Fatal is not one of them currently. Whether he joins late or what will remain to be seen. But we do have plenty of drivers in the race. 33 cars will start the action today, and a couple of them out of position, so that's going to make things even more interesting as we go for the race. 45 seconds before the lights go green. We'll just let these results scroll by, and if you see your name, thank you for participating this year. You make this series possible. You bring us the drama that we enjoy watching, and your competitors enjoy getting involved with. So thank you very much. And Fox Friday will be continuing strong into 2024 in just a few weeks' time, where we'll start all over again with a fresh slate. Who will be the 2024 Fox Friday champion? Well, we need to decide the 2023 championship first, and let's go to the track to do just that in a few seconds' time. All right, the stage is set for another fantastic Fox Friday. We're getting a view over the grid, and Gabor, who will set us off for the start of this one. All the drivers lined up on the grid there. Epic stuff. And we will just wait for the lights to go green. Here they go. 2 lights, 3 lights, and a long hold. No, not really. We are green. And it's a good start from Gabor. And who's that dodging out? That's Roger Chen trying to get a good line, or getting over to the inside quickly as everyone lines up to get the best slipstream possible. And is Yoni going to try and go for a move early around the outside? Surely not. He's got a nose in there, but Gabor will surely try and cover it off. No, they do go through the first chicane side by side, but Gabor is still in the lead. We've got cars flying off backwards. Who was that? Was that TJ? No, I think that was Mantas off into the gravel. So an early problem for Mantas. Botev also having trouble, I'm hearing in my ear. But as we head through the first chicane, it's Gabor leading ahead of Yoni Katilla, with Zesty very, very close behind. But a lot of drama going off in the background. We've got Onifus slow in the chicane. He's going to have to be really careful just before there. But he's out safely. And Ayub has got a lot of cars around him. Look at this, an enormous pack about to enter into Spoon. Gabor's got the measure of Yoni at the moment, so let's keep an eye on this, as we've got 3 wide in the middle here. Cars need to be careful not to wash out wide, and we've got a huge incident there. Ayub spinning out. That was Pekka. No, who was that? It was Doctor involved, so not good for the Road Appraiser team there, but certainly not good for Ayub. Unlucky there. As we've got, Yoni's gone off the track. He was so close to the back of Gabor, and that's allowed now Zesty to go alongside him. So Yoni lucky to keep it out of the gravel there, and Gabor now has Zesty in his mirrors. So Yoni Katilla pushing very, very hard at the beginning of the first lap to try and just slow Gabor down any way he can, and now just let him slip away, and it's up to Zesty to do the job to try and slow him down a little bit. You don't want to give Gabor too much of a run, or else he will just disappear into the distance. He does it all too often. And yeah, well, as we round out the first lap, we've had a lot of drama further down, and now we're going to see Happy D under pressure from Roger Chen. Roger Chen to the inside as we head to the final corner. This is for P5, and a fight in the background as well there between Isaac Price and Happy D. Isaac Price and TJ too. So Roger gets the move done, and it's TJ and Isaac Price who are also in a battle just behind. Does Isaac have the slipstream, or is he just out of it? I think everybody's got the slipstream. Everybody's got the DRS down the home straight, so everyone not really able to make a move, but TJ close enough to the back of Happy D to try and make the move back, and he's through on the inside. So well timed, and puts a buffer between him and Isaac, who will surely want to close up to the front of this as quickly as he possibly can. But what a first lap that was. Gabor really, really close to Zesty, so not really able to make much of a gap at this stage, which I love to see. Zesty continuing to turn the screws as Gabor clouts the wall there. And Onifus has beached the car in the gravel. He's just got out, but not good for Fragmaster's team's championship battle, as Isaac Price goes up the inside of Happy D, and now has Strutter just behind. Oh, sorry, that's not Strutter, that is Rex, the star from last round. And Roger Chen and TJ also in a battle again, pretty much allowing the top 4 to run away at this stage. This is where the action is from fifth downwards. Got TJ, Roger Chen, Isaac, Rex and Happy D. Let's see what Rex can do. Rex has been on one the last few rounds, and he's in the thick of it here. Not really that much of an opportunity to get around your competitors here. You've got to be so careful not to burn up your tyres. It's so easy to just want to follow in the slipstream, use all the downforce, all the mechanical grip, but you burn through your tyres. Now, this is a sprint race, of course. No pit stops really to do any work. The drivers will have to go through the pit lane to make a pit stop at some point, but no work is needed. So I don't think the drivers will be changing tyres today, as Isaac Price pulls out of the slipstream and will try and get past Roger Chen into the final chicane. But it's not going to be enough. Roger has got that covered, I think, unless Isaac can keep a nose in it. Oh, he can, and he goes around the outside. Great move there by Isaac Price. But it's going to hand the slipstream straight back to Roger, and maybe Rex can capitalise from this as well. So So Roger and Isaac, neither of them at the moment with a slipstream. And look at Rex, he's now going to close up to the back of both of them. Isaac trying to go around the outside. Now Rex could be smart here, but elects to just stay behind. He doesn't want to get involved just yet. There's plenty of time left, of course. But good move that from Roger Chen to get back past Isaac. And the battle for P6 now continues as TJ manages to break the gap and sets the fastest lap on lap number 2. Only half a second between our race leaders, but this is where the action is. We've got Isaac trying to line up Roger Chen again. Roger with a big slide, and that will give Isaac the opportunity early. Goes wide to get better slipstream. Didn't have enough overspeed really to do anything there. But now we've got Strutter and Happy D trying to gang up on Rex. Isaac Price going for the move into Spoon. He has the inside. That should be another slam dunk move. And there in the background, you can see Happy D on the outside of Rex. And Strutter just being patient, waiting for an opportunity. But yeah, these drivers really able to follow each other pretty closely. Let's see what can happen here. Will Roger fancy a move into the sweeps? No. Isaac goes defensive as Rex moves up past Happy D then. And this is a fascinating battle. They're so close together. And yeah, there you see Roger struggling, following Isaac through the final part of the opening of Sector 3. And Rex will now try to line up the back of that Mercedes. He's got a good exit. But Isaac Price has now broken the toe, so Roger is a sitting duck, goes defensive. Rex doesn't follow him across the track, but it doesn't matter because this is where you want to be close. Out of the final corner and onto the start-finish straight. This is where you want to affect the pass, but Rex has got it all wrong. He's gone onto the grass just like TJ did at the end of qualifying. And that's going to hand the place straight to straight to Happy D. Well held though. That's so difficult to control the car and maintain speed. Strutter on the outside of Happy D there. But well held that from Rex. That could have gone quite a lot worse. And Strutter makes a place past Happy D. Down 2 for Rex. And up 2 for Strutter. Finn UK goes into the pit lane to make his mandatory pit stop for race 1. And Gabor now has a lead of 0.6 of a second over Zesty. And interesting, we've got Yoni Katilla being caught, I think, by Botsy. So that's an interesting turn of events. Botsy not close enough on the oval to get past, but looks to have some serious pace today. And I wonder if he will be close enough on this lap to make a pass for the podium. The top 4, very, very close compared to what we usually see. They're only separated by just under 2 seconds. You can see them all in frame there with TJ the fastest lap and closing. But Botsy definitely catching Yoni then. Drops a wheel on the grass, but it won't matter. Yoni, will he go defensive? No, he doesn't. He leaves the door open for a move from Botsy then. And through into P3 goes the Sidus driver. And he can now focus on the back of Zesty. But Yoni Katilla struggling in the early stages then to make the best use of his tyres. Yeah, he's dropping back a lot. So I wonder what's gone on there. Maybe a setup problem? Not sure. Well, anyway, he's got to sort something out because TJ will be on him in a flash if he doesn't. And maybe even Isaac Price. He's pushed the gap to Roger Chen. Absolutely no threat there of a slipstream. But it's all go still between Happy D and Rex. Who's in the hot seat at the moment? It's Yeroloco who is in the P15 spot. Remember, P15 in this race gets pole for race 2. And Rex will line up Happy D now out of the final corner. Oh, he's going to run. They're both going to run wide. Rex runs wide again. You'd think he'd learn from the last lap. Strutter's going to get that place back. And so too will Pekka Koivunen, no doubt. Yeah, Rex decides to go into the pit lane now to do his mandatory stop. Might as well. He's already lost enough time. 2 crucial mistakes in 2 laps. As we've got Kirku then fighting with... Who's that? That is Kid. And Botsy has spectated. Probably he's had an incident somewhere. Sausage curbs, he says in the chat. So Botsy's had an issue with one of the curbs, and that hands P3 back to Yoni Katila. So an unfortunate exit there from Botsy. That's good for Onifus, one of the Sidus drivers, exiting the race. It limits the number of points that the Fragmaster's team will lose, as Kirku appears to have dropped quite significantly behind Kid now. And your race leader, Gabor, is now almost a second ahead of Zesty. Through the final sector comes Gabor. I'm just waiting for that gap to go up over a second, but it's not quite there. 98 hundredths. And our top three now separated by over 2 seconds. So that's how quickly things change. Kid's had an issue. After getting past Kirku, he's thrown it in a wall and has dropped to P20, so losing 8 places there, or in fact 9 places. And we've got Rex recovering as well after a wobble at the final corner on the previous lap. Decided to go for his mandatory pit stop and now recovering past Boy. And finds himself in traffic, which is the worst place to find yourself after pitting. Out onto the start finish he comes. Can he try and pick off Joa here? Goes to the outside and appears to already have the overlap. Yeah, there we go. Gabor through the chicane off onto the oval, and Zesty now over a second behind. So after that first lap incident, well, not really incident, but mistake from Yoni, it's cost him chance to fight with Gabor, most likely, unless something goes wrong in the pit stop, which is probably unlikely, as we've got Yaroloco now fighting with the 30th race driver of Leandro. And we've got Kig in the pit lane for his mandatory stop, currently down in P27, and Onifus is trying to get past Joa here. Goes to the outside, gets a bit of a squeeze. Oh, it's a tough defense, and there's going to be contact, big contact. Joa's put him in the wall. He's either not seen him or he's pushed him out wide, and that's a seriously big misjudgment there from Joa. Pushes Onifus out into the wall at Spoon. That's a big incident, and Onifus will not be happy with that. His race is already going pretty badly, and well, it's going even worse now. Yeah, that was a serious lack of judgment there from Joa, and it looks like Onifus is going to try and get back past. Serious overspeed. Oh, cut straight back in front of Joa there. So I think Joa may have been waiting for him to get through. But my, you don't see incidents like that very often. And now Onifus is on the back of Friends United Rocket once again. And we've got Tallenberg having a spin and a couple other cars off onto the gravel. Who was that? That was the Andro. Almost making contact with Tallenberg, and Tallenberg opts to go to the pit lane now. Probably a wise decision. Mandula is in an interesting position here. He might be able to get a slipstream on Pekka Koivunen, and this would be for P9 in race 1. 2 16-lap races this evening. We're almost halfway through the first one. But yeah, Pekka Koivunen, a good exit from there, as Onifus also goes into the pit lane, almost certainly repairing damage. This is a longer stop than you'd expect to see during a sprint race, so definitely some damage repair going on there. As we turn our attention to Gabor, who looks absolutely dominant at the moment. 1.3 seconds. He's complaining about a little bit of damage somewhere on his car. Tiny amount of shock damage, but it doesn't look like much at all. So just scaremongering. We've got Botev somewhere out on track lining up Johnny SVK. In fact, through the chicane. Yeah, he's really close now. Let's see if he can get the move done to the inside. And Johnny backs out of the move. An odd place to decide to back out. Seriously cannot wait for the remodeling of Kyoto. This circuit is an absolute classic. It's gone through several alterations since it was first released. This entire sector that we're in now looked completely different originally. If you go way back into the archives of Live for Speed and check out the older versions, this sector is completely different, as we've got Abe fighting with Kid. Kid not having a great afternoon, spins out and is now stuck in the gravel, so that will almost certainly be a slow recovery or retirement. No, he's managed to get it out. Needs to be careful. That's Onifus recovering. He has done his mandatory pit stop now, though, Onifus. But here is Gabor entering Spoon flat out. Lovely wide entry, hugging the apex around the mid part, and then out wide for the exit. And Tallenberg is trying to get past Boy. This was going on before. Boy in the green, Tallenberg driving in the black livery there, and he's through. I don't think Boy will be able to effect a pass through Spoon. The downforce is just going to be taken off his car completely. Flat out into here. A bit of a wide entry for Tallenberg there, but cuts back in for the exit. Boy did a good job there to stay behind. Mind you, Tallenberg made it quite easy for him by using an unorthodox line. And I think he will be safe for now. Isaac Price is kind of on his own. He's got 1.7 seconds ahead to TJ, and about the same, or about 2 seconds back to Roger Chen. So just settling into a rhythm here, deciding when to make his pit stop, running it right to the white line. Closest fight at the front is this one for between Pekka Koivunen and Mandula, although I don't think Mandula's in the slipstream quite yet. Strutter is off ahead of these two, and there he is. He's just appeared at the front of this fight. So he's had an issue at the first hairpin, and this is now a three-way fight as we head through the first chicane. This is going to be uncomfortable if they stay like this. Strutter in the lead. Pekka Koivunen will have dirty air. Mandula will have double dose of dirty air, and as we head onto the oval, Mandula is going to have a mighty slipstream here, and their order will almost certainly reverse. Strutter then forced to the outside. Mandula trying to squeeze up the inside. That's a great move if he can make it work, but Pekka's in the best position here. Mandula trying to hold it around the outside. That's a good effort. See if he can make it. Just about. That's a nice move. And as he goes into that corner, he's going to have the lead of this trio. So, yeah, well played. And we'll follow them through the sweeping section, of course. Pekka Koivunen will really want to get back under the gearbox of Mandula. But where is he going to have an opportunity? Probably not until the home straight now. Pekka Koivunen will have to watch out for Strutter. Thanks for tuning in for round 49 of Fragmaster's Fox Friday in Live for Speed. This is the final scheduled broadcast of the series this year. However, we do envision broadcasting one more, either the 700th Fragmaster's Fox Friday or the finale. Zesty's had an issue at the final corner, and that's allowed Isaac Price to get through up to P4. Zesty tumbling down the order, and that's not good at all. Now 7 seconds the gap to the lead. And we've got someone in the pit lane, that's Strutter, who enters pits for his one and only mandatory stop this afternoon. As Gabor sends it through the chicane and has the fastest lap now as well, for good measure. Didn't like the fact that TJ had it. Decided to just go faster. As we get a low shot of Yoni going through Spoon Corner. Great vantage point for this car. It's a lovely looking car based on the Formula Renault 2.0. And as we head through that corner, you can see the livery up close there. The Alfa Romeo inspired livery on that car. Bin UK is off into the gravel. That's at the first hairpin. And just getting back up to speed as Johnny SVK gets another opportunity to try and get past Botev if he wants it. As we watch them go side by side through first corner on the oval, and Johnny SVK, I think, has already lost the advantage he has. Now he's on the inside for Spoon. Botev will hold the outside line, give him the room. We've seen cars hold the outside line around here, but Johnny SVK's timed that perfectly and will keep 20th place. But now Ayub fancies a slice of this action as well. Botev able to hold the car on the tarmac there. But wastes no time in trying to get back past. Zesty's in the pit lane, so he's had more of, decided he lost too much time and has gone into the pits to make his mandatory stop. And now Ayub is well and truly on the back of this fight. And what's he going to try and do from here? When will he try and get through? You don't tend to want to get through before the final corner, unless you're absolutely desperate. You're better off waiting until the next corner, Ayub. There you go, he's going to try and cut back in. I honestly think that Johnny SVK was trying to give him the hint, but that's not a good exit from Ayub there. Johnny SVK will keep that place quite easily in the end as he goes into the pit lane to do his mandatory stop. Let's get an update on the stops to date. It's Zesty who currently leads of the cars who have pitted, with Rex there in second place. Tallenberg's going for a move on the oval on the inside of Kirku, and that's easy enough. Kirku won't have anything to say to that. Too much overspeed for Tallenberg. Tallenberg's still leaving a little bit of room and cuts back in front. As Gabor makes his way to start-finish once again to start lap 12 of 16, 5 to go after this one. in race 1 of 2 this evening. Yoni Katilla in P2, and you can see behind TJ and Isaac Price still there. So there could potentially be a fight for the podium before the end of this race. Only 1.3 seconds now separates TJ and Isaac. Isaac fully committed through there. The under tray scraping over the curbs. It's Roger Chen just slightly further back in P5. He's always there or thereabouts, isn't he, Roger Chen? Always up at the sharp end. Happy D doing a good job as well in P6. With Mandula and Pekka Koivunen, your top 8. This race is the calm before the storm. The top 15 will be reversed for race 2, which is always providing us with a pretty entertaining race from start to finish. I'll remind you once again, if you've not checked out race 2 from last round, you should absolutely do it on our channel. Leandro has just served his mandatory pit stop and re-emerges ahead of Tallenberg. Quite close. And we've got Onifus catching up to Finn UK. And Finn UK is off on the grass. So Onifus needs to be careful where to go here, but goes around the outside. And, well, that ended up being quite simple on his teammate. I'm not sure Finn UK would have made it too difficult for him anyway, but there we go. As we've got Leandro and Tallenberg still close together. And Leandro trying to get through on the inside at Spoon, and that's going to be easy peasy. Tallenberg able to keep in the slipstream, as so many drivers have managed to do through there. And potentially with the... Oh, is he? And he actually tries to force the move into that corner. That's a great opportunity. Yeah, back through. But wait. Leandro trying it around the outside. That's ambitious. There's not really an opportunity there. You need a massive amount of overspeed to make that work. Or just bravery. Well, Tallenberg gives him the room. But they're just slowing each other down at that point. And Leandro being a little bit greedy. And Tallenberg just giving too much space, I think. But yeah, good opportunity coming up again for Leandro. Lots of slipstreaming today. But yeah, Tallenberg opens the gap up. And speaking of gaps, the gap at the front is now over 4.7 seconds. Largely because Zesti's had some trouble and is now pitted and is down in P9. Does have clean air, 7 seconds of clean air, but will it be enough? Because our race leaders are going to be in the next 3 laps to serve their mandatory stop. But here is True Alpha, which is Yoni Katilla, if you're not familiar. 4.6 seconds off the back of Gabor, who's absolutely dominating this one at the moment. Next we've got 3 times Fox Friday champion TJ. Unlikely to lift the trophy again this year, but never say never, especially in Fox Friday. Mathematically he's still able to win, but whenever someone says mathematically able to win, it normally means the championship is pretty much sealed. A diminishing number of opportunities and permutations that will mean TJ can win. But he's put on a good show this year, not quite been able to match Gabor. And here we've got Botev trying to make a move on Joa. Joa, who caused Onifus to go into the wall at Spoon before. Hopefully he's seen Botev trying to get past him on the outside. And that looks like a job done for Botev if he can keep it ahead into the first chicane. Yeah, easily done. Gabor comes through turn 1 to start lap 14. 3 laps to go, including this one. So around about 7 minutes before we'll find out who will take pole. It's currently Kirku97 who sits on the hot seat. There are 2 races going on here, remember. A race for first place, and on the final lap we've got a race for 15th. See who gets pole for race 2. Always a fascinating thing to watch towards the end of race 1. But Gabor doesn't care. He wants to get maximum points. He wants the win. He wants the fastest lap. He doesn't really care who finishes P15. It's just fresh meat for race 2. Here is then Joni Katila, and it is pretty close still from Joni down to Isaac. Just over 2 seconds separates second and fourth, with TJ in the middle there. And TJ has been being reeled in by Isaac for quite a number of laps, but is potentially doing just enough to stay ahead. I don't think there's enough laps left. We'll have to check the lap times. Fragmaster in the chat seems to think that Isaac is catching, but is it enough? Is it quick enough to get the move and get P3? Only time will tell. Dusty, of course, has already stopped, but he is 27 seconds off the lead, and I'm not sure Gabor's going to lose quite that much time. His lead is pretty safe. Nobody can touch him today. 5 seconds now the gap, and an absolutely perfect and committed line through the final corner. Unbelievable stuff. He's not going to go into the pit lane this time around. He will wait until the dying moments. So he will come in at the end of the next lap. This lap. Lap 15. And that's when we'll see how much of a lead he has. Everyone else who hasn't stopped also has to stop on this lap. So Joni, TJ, Isaac, Roger, Happy, Mandula, Koivunen, Adal, Rocket all need to come in to do their pit stops now. You cannot pit on the final lap. At what point does Gabor just stop enjoying running around at the front on his own? Pretty good feeling. Adal into the pit lane. He's doing his mandatory stop at the end of his lap 14. Yeah, it's a quick stop from Adal. Clean as you like. But all eyes back on Gabor. Got to see how his pit stop goes. Rocket to the pit lane, so pitting a lap earlier than necessary, but just getting it out of the way. Stops in the box perfectly and gets going again perfectly. Great stop. Loses a place to Boy though, and also Onifus, who is recovering. Trying to get as many points from this race now as Onifus. But definitely a race to forget for him. So everybody except our top 8 have stopped, which means we're going to see a flurry of activity as 8 cars come down the pit lane. As long as they all remember, of course. A disqualification will await them if they do forget. But let's watch Gabor go in and out of the pits. Needs to judge his braking to perfection. He does not really need to push, but we've seen him push in the past and get it all wrong. So hopefully he's a bit more measured. So into the pits he comes. Leaves it very late to break down to the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. 80 kilometers an hour, but no such trouble. Perfectly lines up the brakes for his stop. Absolutely rapid pit stop that. 1.22 seconds, as quick as they come. And there you can see the other cars in the pit lane doing all sorts of things. Joni Katila gets back going again. So too does Isaac Price. But somehow TJ manages to stay ahead. But that gap is down to less than it's ever been. TJ taking all the liberties all across the grass. Perhaps better than Isaac there to get out of pit lane. Zesty is going to emerge ahead of Roger Chen, so he comes back into P5. So after Roger pits, he comes out in P6. Zesty did lose a ton of time there, as Mandula comes out behind Strutter. And Happy D is in P8 after all of that. Rex in P7. And Gabor in P1 as he enters Spoon Corner for the final time in race 1. Absolutely dominant performance. 5 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've got the skill and ability of some of the drivers at the top of this grid, that is a big gap. And who can beat Gabor tonight? What's Rex got in race 2? Botev is having a fight with Kid at the back. For P25, they're side by side. Botev on the outside. Ooh, too close for comfort, that. Let's see what Botev can do. Can he get through before he goes over start finish for the penultimate time for these guys? Well, Botev pulls out of the slipstream a lot and loses a bit of time, really. And we'll try and get a run up for a slipstream around the outside. Kid will defend this, no doubt, hard as he can. Pushes Botev over to the side of the track, and Botev has no choice but to back out of it. So good defending there from Kid. Not scared of getting his elbows out, but a big tank slapper on the exit. It's going to leave everything on the table as Gabor comes across start finish to win race 1. A dominant performance for him. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And we'll wait to see who comes across the line next. It will be Yoni Katilla who takes P2 with PJ in P3. Isaac will take P4. Zesty P5. Roger Chen 6th. Rex 7th. Happy D 8th. Gussa 9th. And Mandula in 10th. But we've got some other battles that we need to pay attention to. We've got Doctor and Kirku. Doctor might get Abe as well here. Doctor got through Abe at the through Kirku at the previous corner, and yeah, he's on a mission. Through easily on Abe. Abe's going to lose a position at the final lap here. And Abe's gone wide. Got to be careful there. No, all good. So great move that. And Doctor makes up 2 places on the final lap to finish P17. Any other drivers in a battle? Yeah, we've got Finn UK who's going to have a run on Rocket up to the start-finish line. So fights all the way to the end here. It's going to be really, really close over start-finish. They're side by side. Who's going to get it? I think it's going to be Finn just about, yeah, by just under a car length. Finn UK takes P21 then in an iRacing NASCAR style finish. Collision across the line. And only a couple more cars left out there. Boy finishes in P24. We've got Botev with Kid. In fact, Kid comes across the line. No, Kid's further back. There we go. So yeah, Botev has had a dodgy final lap. And then we've got the 2 Mole teammates, Joa and Nacho. Although I think Nacho has already come across the start-finish line. And will finish a lap down on his teammate. Joa, the final car on the lead lap, and in the end, and we can get the full list of results and determine who will be on the all-important pole position for race 2. So let's get a look at those race results. We have Gabor taking the gold medal position with True Alpha on the silver spot, with TJ in P3. Isaac Price best of the rest, just over, or in fact a second and a half exactly off of TJ in the end. He was catching but could not get there just in the dying laps. Zesty what could have been for him. He had a good start, but didn't end up getting it together. Made a few too many mistakes and ends up in P5. Roger Chen, P6. Rex, Happy D, Strutter, and Mandula are your top 10. And Gabor with another mighty fastest lap there, a 2-minute 14.73. Pekka Koivunen in P11 with Tallenberg, Leandro, Yeroloko, and Al Payson in P15, meaning he will have pole position for race 2. So Al Payson finishes on the hot seat. No one really around him to try and contest that. Easily 6 seconds ahead to Yeroloko and 4 seconds back to Adal. So Al Payson comfortably with the pole position. Then we've got Adal in P16, Dr. Ayub Kirku and Onifus. Terrible race for Onifus. Dreadful for the team's championship standings with Gabor finishing ahead. Solace only in the fact that Botsi didn't manage to finish. Had an incident with a sausage curb at some point during the race. And there we are, Finn UK 21st, Rocket, Johnny SVK, Boy, Botev, Kid, and Joa and Nacho for the Mole team are your 28 finishers, with Kig, Botsi, Mantas, and Martins DNFing the 32 cars that started the race. We're going to go for a little bit of a break before the start of race 2, but just a reminder then about what is happening. We are going to get another excellent race with 16 laps, but this time a reversed top 15. It will be Al Payson who starts on the pole position, and Gabor will start all the way down in P15. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back for the start of race 2 in just a few moments' time. Welcome back to tonight's action here on the channel. In important news, if you've been watching this broadcast since the beginning, pop-up headlights are now a thing in Live for Speed. During this broadcast, Scowen has released a test patch where you can now have pop-up headlights in Live for Speed. Unbelievable. The things you miss while you're doing broadcasts. Thankfully, Chris in my ear is paying attention. People have already implemented pop-up headlights on the XRT and the GTI cars. So yeah, unbelievable. We are getting ready for race 2 here. No pop-up headlights on the cars today. This is the Fox. But yeah, go and try out the new test patch if you get a chance after the broadcast. 16 laps coming up in just a few moments' time. We've got Al Payson on pole position with Yeroloko, Leandro, Tallenberg, Pekka Koivunen, Mandula, Strutter, Happy D, Rex, Zesty, Isaac Price, TJ, True Alpha, and Gabor in P15. And yeah, everybody just psyching themselves up for the start of this one. And News has reached the drivers of pop-up headlights, and I'm sure we won't lose any of them to go and run away and play with the mods, because we've got an epic race 2 to look forward to. The drivers are just readying up in the background, getting ready to go. But brilliant stuff. Race 2 last time out on the channel. Again, third time I'm mentioning it, I think, this broadcast. You should go and check it out. Round 45 was an absolute epic at Blackwood between Gabor and Rex, with Rex ultimately winning, meaning it was a new winner for us here on the channel. Just 6 or 7 drivers left to ready up. A few drivers being moved around on the grid. I think Roger is out of position. So just a couple more moments before we are going to go green. I think everyone is in position now and readying up for the start. Just 2 drivers to go, Onifus and Botsi. And then we'll be ready for our grid. Apologies for the delay here. Just Onifus to go, and we have a grid. Buckle up, it's another 16 laps around Kyoto Ring GP Long Reversed for the final time, hopefully for a while. We've had lots of this track this week. I shouldn't really be complaining, it's a great track. And welcome back to the grid here. As we get the lights on, and we're going to have another awesome run down to turn 1. Who is going to get the best launch? Well, it's not going to be Al Payson. I think he was still stationary, was he? When the lights went green. All the movers and shakers at the back. But yeah, it's Yaroloco who's already got a good run on Al Payson as we head up to turn 1. And is that going to be Leandro trying to get around Al into the first chicane? Yes, he is. So Leandro up into P2, and we've got a car spinning up in the background. That's Rex and TJ both spinning. TJ in the wall as well in the background there, but Rex crucially out into the gravel, and TJ is all the way at the back and has a lot of work to do to recover. Gabor already up to P11 and in a fight with Yoni Katilla. He's managed to get back past Yoni in very quickly. And well, these two crucially slightly behind the main pack. So Yaroloco leads ahead of Leandro, Al Payson, and there's a 3-wide situation around Pekka Koivunen here. But it's True Alpha who is trying to chase down Gabor, but we're going to keep an eye on this group here. 3 wide, and there is contact between Pekka Koivunen and Strutter there, with Tallenberg just behind as well. So Al managing to hold on to 3rd place, and Strutter now trying to get back past on Happy D, but not able to into that corner. A frantic first lap, and that's Mandula going wide and off the track, and allowing Isaac Price, who's had a very nice start, up to P9 then. But still, drivers side by side going through the sweeps. That's Tallenberg and Strutter and Happy D. Happy D and Strutter so close to contact, but doing well to keep out of each other's side pods. Great shot that as they all weave their way into the final corner, and that's Isaac being forced off into the gravel. It's going to drop him a long way down. Yeah, and he'll be fuming. That was a really nice start from him, but just on the outside into that corner and just off. As Gabor finds his way through Mandula before we can point the cameras at him. Already up into P9 for Gabor. And now sets his sights on the back of Happy D, who's also got a good run on the back of Roger Chen. He's on the outside. Zesty's also fighting with Yoni in the background. Sorry, not Zesty. That is... sorry, they're in the pit lane. So lots of cars going in the pit lane. And we've got a 3-wide situation with Zesty. We did. Al and Pekka side by side. Oh, we've got cars off. That's Yaroloco off into the barriers. We've got tyres everywhere. And it's Al now with his teammate Strutter behind him. But a disastrous start for several drivers here. And it's now Leandro who has the lead of the race. How far can he stretch the gap to Koivunen in P2, Fragmaster teammates in third and fourth, going side by side. And Happy D now in the hot seat because Gabor is going to absolutely monster his way forward. Through on Roger Chen he goes. Almost contact, but Roger able to move out of the way. Let's see how quickly Gabor can carve his way through the pack here. He's catching up to the back of Happy D. We'll go on board with him through that corner. DJ has spectated from the race. He's given up. He's decided enough is enough, which leaves all the hopes of strong points in this race on the shoulders of Doctor, who I think has also retired. He's not in the... Oh no, he is. He's down in P25. My mistake. But yeah, Gabor is sizing up Happy D, who he just has so much confidence to just run around the outside there. Happy D was too close to the back of the Fragmaster's cars and had to lift. Gabor was perfectly poised to send one up the inside. So brilliant driving there from Gabor. Bit of a blip of the throttle as he heads out onto the straight and tries to pick up the slipstream on Al Payson. Jutta has managed to get past his teammate now. Let's see if he can get a good exit through the final chicane. It should be decent. He's had plenty of practice at this corner this week. Won't be able to cut sausage curbs like he was on Tuesday, but there we go. He'll have a slipstream on the back of Al Payson, and this will be the move for P4 in the race. To the outside he goes. And look at the cars in the background. Everyone's side by side there or thereabouts, but Gabor up to P4. Al will relinquish that position. Well, he'll have no choice. But absolutely awesome stuff there from Gabor. And next target will be Strutter. Strutter, who is doing a decent job here in P3, but has lost the slipstream now of Pekka Koivunen. And, well, Gabor is only 1.7 seconds from the lead of this race after 2 laps, after starting in P15. Unbelievable. Al Payson and Roger Chen. Al has the inside. Can Roger do the cutback? No, not quite. Al blocks him. No way through just there. But let's see, what can Gabor do on Strutter here? Meanwhile, let's have a look at Tallenberg and Botzi heading through that corner. I think Tallenberg may have a closer run than Gabor currently does. Or rather, Botev now trying to get back past Tallenberg. And Roger Chen and Al Payson have switched positions. Where is Gabor? Gabor is within hunting distance of the entire top 3 already. As we've got a back marker getting out of the way. Who is that? That is TJ, who has rejoined. So I feel like he wants the points more than... Oh, there's been a crash somewhere. What's happened there? Not entirely sure what happened. There was Nacho's had an issue. Doctor has spectated. I think that must have happened somewhere near... Not sure where that was on track, but drama between Doctor and Nacho. Botev side by side with Botzi. And Botzi goes into the pit lane. The ball gets the fastest lap, and we've got a fight for the lead between Koivunen and Leandro. This will all play into the hands of Gabor, who will more than likely have the lead by the end of the oval if these two keep fighting, which they do. But they aren't in a race with Gabor, really, are they? They are in it for the points, in it for the fun. Gabor is in this race for himself. As we ride on board through the chicane over the sausage curbs with the little concrete banking that's been created, and there's no room on the inside there. Koivunen shuts the door. Luckily, Gabor gets out of the gas. But as we go through the oval now, Pecca just going to be patient. He knows he's got a bit of time. He'll pick one of them off. He'll pick off Leandro. And try and get past Pekka Koivunen somewhere else on the lap. Absolutely crazy driving here from Gabor. Crazy, crazy pace. He's not going to try and do it into turn 9, surely. Just no room there for two cars side by side. But it's going to be into the sweeps, and this is the move. Potentially going around the outside, going around the long way, making it difficult for himself. The inside becomes, the outside becomes the inside. He still has nose ahead. Pekka will have to give him the room. And there's only just room, but they do come together, and Pekka and Gabor go off. They did not leave each other enough room, and that's going to drop Gabor all the way down. He's losing a ton of positions, but Pekka Koivunen, I think, came off far worse there. Yeah, he's been in the wall a couple of times. But Gabor, I feel like he might have thrown it away a little bit there. But two very experienced drivers, but just not leaving each other enough room. And Gabor now down to P12 with everything to do once again, and that might just be too much. So that is almost certainly going to hand the lead to someone else. That's too much time lost, even for Gabor, to gain back before the end. So it's currently Strutter then. He picks up the lead with Leandro. Pekka Koivunen P11, Gabor in P12. And let's see, can Leandro make the move before turn 1 and try and run away a bit? Because these two, or anyone at the front now, needs to get their foot down. Focus, focus, focus. Don't fight too hard. Because otherwise, you're going to get Pekka Koivunen and Gabor catching you at the end. As Pekka Koivunen pits, probably for damage yet. That's going to be... Oh no. Does not repair any damage, so quick stop for him. So he is probably still in the race as Strasser loses some time, and that's Roger Chen now going through. What's happened to Leandro? There must have been contact, or a spin. Leandro loses a ton of places down to P8, and there's damage on that car. So yeah, almost certainly drama that we missed. Apologies for that through the first chicane. And there is Gabor now, after recovering 12 seconds back from our race leader. That's the gap to Roger Chen. So, on paper, at the front of this race, the drivers that were quickest in race 1 were Zesty and Roger. So, those are the two really at the moment to look out for. You've got Zesty there in P4, just off shot. As we've got a few retirements, Leandro and Isaac Price both retiring from this race. So an afternoon, or an evening rather, to forget for Isaac. And well, Leandro just unlucky. Not sure what's happened down at turn 1, but puts an end to his race. As Strutter now under pressure from Mandula. Mandula always quiet in these races, but always picks up good results. Doesn't take too many risks, but he's consistent and he has pace under him, does Mandula. Currently sits in a healthy P3. Doesn't race as regularly as he used to, but still has all of the speed. Maybe just a little bit rusty here and there. As Zesty now will take full advantage of that tardy exit from the previous corner, and will set his sights on the back of Strutter, able to take the final corner so quickly, a little bit too quickly in fact, off onto the grass with 2 wheels. No problem. Now Strutter will be looking in those 2 tiny wing mirrors and seeing a purple and black car streaking up to the back of him. Not quickly enough to get through though. We'll have to be onto the oval later on. To the oval through the chicane. Zesty trying to line up a move around the outside then on Strutter. There goes our race leader and the 2 cars side by side, Strutter and Zesty. And Zesty will have the inside for Spoon. Strutter wise and leaves the room. Try and get him back on the outside for that corner, but he's left it too wide, I think. Oh no, he's still got a nose ahead. Part of the front wing is still ahead. Will he go for it? Yes, he will. Good stuff. Strutter tries to take it back. Goes up onto the curb. Still leaves the room. And now Zesty will be on the outside for the first part of the sweepers. And now Mandula will follow him through. Strutter's still there on the inside. They've got to be super careful. They don't want to repeat what Pekka and Gabor did. Zesty goes through. But Strutter cuts off the nose of Gabor. Sorry, of Mandula. And now TJ has appeared behind him, although he's a lap down. So TJ will be unlapping himself at this point. So has to be careful not to interfere with fights further up. You've got Botev there as well. But yeah, TJ is a lap down now. He is in a battle with Joa, who is some way up the road. And Gabor, sounds like I'd written him off earlier. He's already up to P8, and with only a 10-second gap to our race leader. So he shaved off a second and a half from our race leader in the last few laps. He's on a mission as TJ goes into the pits. Probably a good idea. Do your mandatory pit stop and get into a little bit of fresh air. So Roger Chen starts lap 7 with Zesty following him through in P2. And these two are quick enough, they should be quick enough, to drop the rest of the field. Further back, we've got Botsy on the outside of Boy across start-finish. And that is Friends United Rocket up ahead, with TJ coming out of the pit lane. So not an ideal place for TJ to rejoin that in plenty more traffic, but his stop's done. So all he has to do now is overtake cars. That's his only mission. As Botsy now lines up Rocket at an uncomfortable part of the lap. Gets it done early, crucially before the chicane, which means it doesn't have to lose time, and Rocket is nowhere near at the exit to pick up the slipstream. So that's that. Now Boy will get past Rocket as well. And TJ has a monumental tow from Rocket, who moves out of the way. Gracious of him, doesn't have to. TJ's a lap down. So your top 10 currently on lap 7, Roger Chen, followed by Zesty, then Strutter, closely followed by Mandula, might be a pass there, with Botev and Ayub down to P6. And we've got Adal, Gabor up to P8, with Johnny SVK in P9, and Rex just behind him in P10. But let's see what Mandula's doing. And can he get a run on Strutter out of the final corner? Strutter slightly wider than Mandula, and onto the grass, in fact. And Mandula won't pass up that sort of opportunity. But just slightly too far back on this occasion. So we'll have to try somewhere else as Gabor comes across start-finish to start lap 8. And that's Adal, who's taking a strange line, it has to be said. All the way on the outside over start-finish. Giving up time, making the track unnecessarily long for himself. An unusual line for sure. Not optimal. And you can see what that's done. That's allowed Gabor to close up to pretty much within slipstream range before they even get on the oval. So let's ride on board and see what Gabor can do. Where is he going to get past? Will we see any fireworks? So easily within slipstream distance then for Gabor. And yeah, goes to the inside early. And hopefully, well, he'll hope that he's well ahead going into Spoon. Yeah, plenty of overlap and job done easily there. So Adal just giving up time unnecessarily, really. Made that a little bit quicker than it could have been. And if you're just joining us, thank you for joining. You're watching Fragmaster's Fox Friday, the 49th round of the championship for 2023. And you're watching Gabor, who started P15, got up to the front, and then had a collision with Pekka Koivunen and dropped himself all the way back down to P12. And now finds himself battling back up the grid into P7 only 9.8 seconds from the lead. Yoni Katila gets past Onifus, and Mandula has finally caught up to the back of Strutter, so surely there's going to be an overtake this time. Interesting that Mandula tries to force the pass before the home straight, I guess just trying to give Strutter the hurry up. But now needs to focus on a good exit from the final corner, which he's got, and this should be a slam dunk for Mandula. And Strutter decides now is the time to go into the pit lane. Probably sensible. Save all the battling. And Mandula will be left to lap around on his own for a bit. Rex has had another incident, and it looks like a big one. That looks like it's going to be a race ender. Plenty. Yeah, look at the front of that car, absolutely destroyed. That's been into the barrier hard. He would have dropped to 1 or 2 tyres, or maybe more. Gabor's gone. Gabor's off and is spectated. He went off at the first chicane. Gabor is out, so his charge back to the front is out. He spectated before we can get a look, but it happened at the first chicane. He got it all wrong, and that's the end of his race. So we are going to have a different winner today, most likely than we had last time. Neither Gabor or Rex will be winning this one. Technically, Rex is still in with a chance, but down in P19 with a lengthy repair stop, no chance. Roger Chen leads with a 2-second gap now over Zesty. So for all you Master Race Car fans, it's time to cheer on your man. Master Race Car still with probably one of the largest active team members, group of team members in Live for Speed. Besides perhaps Born to Race. Plenty of team members to cheer him on. But yeah, Mandula could be an outside chance for the win here as well. Consistent and intelligent overtakes are his specialty, so let's see what he can manage. Can he match Zesty and Roger Chen on raw pace? Well, remains to be seen. You've got to be in it to win it. You've got to be at the front when it counts, and Mandula is certainly there. Let's just keep an eye on the gap. 4.4 seconds currently to the lead for Mandula, with Botev there as well. Didn't have fantastic pace in race 1, but it doesn't matter. This is a different race. Race 1 is all but forgotten. When the visor goes down, all you care about is what you're doing right now. Alpacin and Rocket also pretty close together. This is for P15. Unfortunately, this position isn't worth anything really now anymore. It's only worth anything in race 1 because it gives you pole for race 2. And Al, not quite close enough to the back of Rocket, even though he was pretty close on the straight before. But he's given up time. And, well, that stops there from being any opportunity there. Yoni versus Johnny. Something I never thought I'd say. Yoni Katila versus Johnny SVK onto the oval. But Johnny SVK, a good enough exit that Yoni likely won't be able to get a slipstream just here. I'll have to do it somewhere else. And Rocket has had a bad chicane, and that's allowed Alpacin to get straight through. So there's been a change for position there. And update at the front, Roger Chen is setting some really, really nice lap times at the moment. Mandula was dropped back, but Zesty is still almost in touch, just 1.8 seconds. And we'll get an update at the timing line to see what that gap will be, and it's coming down. It's gone down by 900ths of a second in the last sector. So, good job that from Zesty. Strong in the middle sector of the lap. And let's see where Botsy is. Botsy, the sole remaining Sidus car in this race. Road Appraiser only have one car as well, and TJ's in last place. So this really has shaken things up in the team's championship. Sidus will maintain their lead. Road Appraiser won't have lost as much as they could have done, but the gap will be extended in the team's championship. Yoni Katila making a move. That's for position on Johnny SVK, and it's going to be done before the home straight even, which is risky for Johnny. Because Johnny SVK, oh no, that's a bad exit from Johnny. So Johnny will have that one sealed. Up to P7 for him. And yeah, Gabor in the chat, clearly unhappy with what happened between him and Pekka Koivunen at the beginning of this race, which dropped him all the way down to P12 on P11. Unfortunate stuff, but it happens, and sometimes you just have to leave a little bit more room. As Johnny SVK there losing another place to Onifus, as we lose Botsy. What happened again to Botsy? 2 DNFs in 2 races. We didn't see what happened, unfortunately. But could it have been the same thing as last time? Unlikely. But yeah, another DNF for Sidus, so neither of them will finish this race. Onifus then will score crucial points in the team's championship if he can manage to finish well here today. We're currently watching him in P8 through Spoon. Just has to make it to the end. Through that corner we go, and it's now Happy D who's lining up his teammate, his new teammate. Happy D, one of the veteran members of MRC, and Johnny SVK lets him through. Almost looked like he was trying to defend, but then braked pretty hard. Botsy's gone off at the first chicane. That's where he's had his issue, and that's what's forced his retirement. So unfortunate there. So the same place that Gabor retired, actually, in this race. But as we head out of the final corner, Roger Chen taking all the track and a little bit more, nibbling at the grass there. Comes across the line to start lap number 12, which makes this 5 to go. And it's Zesty who is the man he's going to have to watch out for. 1.4 seconds now the gap. So we've definitely got a race in our hands at the front. That gap is coming down. And unfortunately for you race green fans, Mandula is dropping back slightly. The gap was 4 seconds to the lead. It's now 4 seconds to P2. So Mandula losing a little bit of time. Botev there in P4. Abe strong in P5, as usual. Then it's Adal, who is doing a good job there for MRC. And then Yoni Katilla, who we haven't really talked about for a while. He's kept himself pretty quiet. However, he has made a pit stop, which none of the top 6 have. So if he keeps his pace up, then he could very surely be on his way to race victory here in race 2. Very, very strong effort from him so far. And let's see what he can do before the end of the race with his pit stop done. 17 seconds off the lead. That's still a long way. He's still got to do a lot of work. The pit lane's not that long. You don't lose that much time. Super smooth driving from Yoni. Seems to have everything perfectly set up in the car. A second faster than Adal at the moment per lap. And absolutely committed through the final chicane. Unbelievable amount of commitment. Some would say too much. But let's see what the gap is to Adal as they come across start finish, and let's see how much he's taken out of him this lap. Yeah, another half a second in the final sector. Unbelievable. Let's go on board with Yoni and see how he is tackling this track. So through the first chicane he goes, braking well before the start of the chicane. You've got to get the car slowed down. As all the downforce comes off the car, it gets very tricky to slow it down into the hairpin. And then flat out he will be until the end of the oval and into Spoon. Let's watch him through the chicane. Yeah, point perfect. Plenty of margin for error on the exits. And then, as you can see, Adal always taking the unorthodox line. Why is he so wide? Yoni Katilla taking the optimal line, staying low on the oval. Adal was all the way out in the 4th lane, up by the wall, and will just be giving away lap time. It's always important to watch the quicker drivers, even if after or before the race. Yoni completely flat out through Spoon as well. So where is the next braking point for him? He'll be flat through this corner as well, or that corner rather, as we like to call it. Barely any braking zones at Kyoto 3 reversed. And Zesty has taken another 0.3 of a second out of Roger Chen. As Pekka Koivunen makes an overtake on Rocket further back. And there we are. Absolute commitment from Yoni. Down to 5th, down to 4th, and then out onto this short run to the start finish. And you can see how large Adal has become just ahead. So much time being taken out of Adal. And possibly because of his unusual lines, just giving up lap time. And just a lift off the throttle for Yoni, and then back on the power is all he needs to get the car onto the home straight. Smooth stuff. And this time, Adal elects to go onto the apron as Yoni picks up the fastest lap. And Adal, yeah, going slightly wide again, not too bad that time. But definitely suboptimal. Yoni's so smooth on the brakes. Drops down 2 gears, lets the car roll through the chicane, then gets on the brakes harder once the car can be straight. And that's how much time Yoni can take out of a car on the brakes. Absolutely perfect. And will he be perfect once again onto the oval? Yes, he will. Yoni Katilla, the man on the move. We are going to see an overtake potentially for P1 soon. Adal, again, seriously wide. What is he doing all the way out there? Just giving up time to Yoni once again. And look at that. Yoni's able to close up right to the back of him now. Adal was so wide there, he was out of the camera shot. So unusual for the oval. But here we go. Yoni, when are you going to get through, mate? Are you going to get through before the sweepers? Looks like it. Adal will go defensive, and Yoni will be forced to go around the outside. And we've seen so many drivers make that move. I think Adal may have lifted a bit or let him through. That looked a little bit too easy. But there we go. Yoni Katilla up to P6. Masterclass of driving. Helped by some unusual driving from Adal. But our attention needs to switch to this, our overall race lead between Roger Chen and Zesty, 2 very talented single-seater drivers in Live for Speed. And well, this is their opportunity. Gabor is out of the race, Yoni is out of position but catching, having done his pit stop. And if either of these two want to fight Yoni on track, they should have probably gone into the pit lane, but I know they don't like to do that until the final lap, which is coming up in about 2 minutes time, because we're on the penultimate lap now. 15 of 16 done, or rather 14 of 16 done, 2 to go. As Borislav Botev goes into the pit lane, so does Adal. So these two pitting a little bit earlier than most. But Roger Chen will lead everybody onto the oval for the penultimate time. And has a 6/600th of a second, sorry, 6/10 of a second lead over Zesty at this point. That's all the gap that there is, and they've got a large gap back to Mandula now. You can't see him actually on the cameras. Almost 7 seconds. Rocket's gone into the pit lane and he's looped it and into the wall. That's less than ideal. So by cutting the corner, he's actually slowed himself down. Well, going across the grass on pit exit isn't without risk, and well, that's the risk you take. And well, Zesty's not managed to do anything on the oval, but has closed up ever so slightly. And now I think Zesty will start to turn the screws, go deep on the brakes, get into the slipstream, and try to get through. Is he close enough though? Probably not, unless something goes wrong with Roger's exit. Well, it was decent, but is he in the slipstream? Maybe just, but they're going to have to go in the pit lane anyway. Oh, Zesty's much better on the brakes. And no penalties for either of those two, and straight into their boxes. But that was a fantastic pit entry from Zesty. Roger Chen's going to squeeze through on the inside. That's clever, because that makes sure he has the inside for the pit exit. This guy's playing chess. And they've made contact on the pit exit, and Zesty's pushed him into the wall, and Joni Katila has managed to get through. So the gap was just small enough for Joni to get through, and they've come together again. Zesty and Roger Chen. Who was that going through the tire bales? Someone else spinning there. I didn't quite see who went through the bales. It wasn't Zesty. Who was it? Someone went through the barriers there. Looks like Happy D's been in the walls because he's just crashed into the chicane. So Happy D with a disastrous first corner there. In fact, no, his nose is dragging across the ground. He won't be able to even steer that car anymore. So you'll have to spectate. There's no way. Oh, he's going to try and go through the chicane, is he? That's not a good idea. Hopefully there's no one coming. Yes, there is someone coming. Well, absolutely questionable behaviour there from Happy D. Not sure what he was thinking there. And Zesty and Roger Chen back together again. This time Roger back in the lead. These two will battle it out. It's Onifus now in P2, just behind Joni. So that is going to be a crucial points haul for Onifus if he can finish there. Really, really important points haul in the team's championship, which is properly close after 49 rounds of racing this season. Every single Friday, these drivers turn up to put on a show for us. And it's come down to the last couple of rounds, which is awesome. Normally we see teams championships decided well in advance, but this year it's not the same. And out of the final corner comes Joni Katila, taking risks until the final turn. He will take the victory in race 2. Very nice drive from him. Pitted early and got it all done. And it will be Onifus who comes across to take P2 in the race. Joni a bit of a flourish to the finish. It's Roger Chen who will take P3, the final step on the podium. Very well deserved. A great drive from him today. You've got to be in it to win it. You've got to take the opportunities when they come. Zesty just misses out. Best of the rest. And it's Strutter who comes across the line in P5. We'll let the rest of the drivers finish, but what a drive from Joni there. Just did his own thing, put in the fast laps, let the two at the front slow each other down, and then comes out of the pits. When they came out of the pits, Joni was there to take the lead straight back. So good effort from him. Just a few more drivers left to finish. Race 2 is always more action-packed because of the grid being out of order. The top 15 reversed, of course. We've got Happy D still trying to finish this race. So we might have a bit of a wait on our hands before we can do the results, but we've got Rex actually just crashing in sympathy, I think, on the final lap. Finn UK is coming as well, and he will overtake Rex as well as Happy D. What is Rex doing? Is he going to have to retire on the final lap? I think he is. I think he has retired, in fact. So after a fantastic race 2, Rex has decided to retire on the final lap, so that's unfortunate. Finn UK will come around to take the flag, and we will just have to wait for Happy D to join everybody with that crippled car. Oh, it's so difficult to watch sometimes. The car just trying to get there. Well, he's going to make it. It's good to see. And up to start finish he comes. Our final finisher will be Master Race Car Happy D. There he goes. And that means we had 19 finishers. Kid there at the back. Not sure what happened to Kid. And this is Al Payson finishing again, so don't worry about that. So that is a wrap for round 49. And it's True Alpha, Yoni Katila, who finishes in 36 minutes 39. Onifus in P2. Roger Chen in P3. Zesty P4. Strutter P5. Then it's Mandula, Botev, Tallenberg, and Abe, with Adal finishing in P10. Last time I think we heard from Adal, and I think we're going to hear from him again. We'll drag him in for an interview in a moment. We've got Al Payson, Pekka Koivunen, Johnny SVK, Boy, Kig, Rocket, Finn UK, Happy D, and that's the final finisher. Other than Kid, we've got Rex finishing or qualifying, being classified ahead of Kid because he finished more of the race than Kid did, but DNFing in P19. And on the second page of results, we'll have quite a few cars. There were a lot of dropouts from this race. TJ, Botsy, Gabor, Goa, Leandro, Isaac Price, Nacho, Doctor, and Yera Loco. And I think at this point we can have a word with a couple of people. Let's start off with Adal.
Yeah,
Adal, welcome to the commentary box again. P10 in race 2. Good effort.
Yeah, thank you. By the way, before starting the interview, I noticed that in TeamSpeak my mic is so, how can I say it? When I start to speak, it's like having a explosion effect, so I'm sorry about that. And if you get to racing, at race 1, I started at the P16 if I'm right. And at the start of the race, at the first corners, somebody spun in front of me and I got collected in the crash. I was P27, so I tried my best and had a good pace. I tweaked some setup and I had a great race setup too, so I managed to get P16 at the end of the race, and I was so close to Payson with the reverse grid. I couldn't get him pole, but at the start of the second race, I kept it safe. I tried my best. I even set up personal best at the race, so which was surprising for me. I don't know 2:15 if I'm right. Yeah, so it was great overall.
Yeah, good stuff. I did mention a couple of times during race 2, especially that you tend to take quite a wide line on the oval, and it just allows other cars to catch up. Is there any reason why you do that? Why are you so wide on the oval?
Yeah, it's just when I was racing on iRacing, I was always racing on oval, and it just like, how can I say it? I had a better pace when I went wide in those cars, so it just sticks with me, and I just did the same today.
Yeah, it's absolutely a habit you need to kick, I think, because visibly on the stream you were losing time, especially to Yoni Katila there at the end by running so wide on the oval. But yeah, it's just something I observed that I just wanted to know why. But if iRacing has drilled that into you, then perhaps it's something you need to unlearn for Live for Speed potentially.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, anyway, fair enough. You started, you had a really, really good qualifying session, P6, you said, but not such a great finish after an incident in race 1, but the opposite in race 2. So clearly, you've got pace in the Fox. It's a a series that you enjoy? I mean, you've been competing in Fox Friday for how long have you been doing this for now?
It's been around like 8 months, and it's the only league I raced at LFS. Only leagues I raced at even in any simulator. So I'm really enjoying it. The stuff is great. Thanks to Fragmaster and everybody. There's a great community around there, and yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
When I come here, like when I think about it in my mind, I'm thinking what I'm going to say, how many things I'm going to say. But when I actually come here, the words just go around and I can't even speak. But thank you.
No, it's all good. Thank you for joining us again for an interview. You're more than welcome to do so after every race, of course. We don't tend to have too many interviews these days, but it's always nice to speak to the drivers. So thanks, Adal, for that. And we'll hopefully see you for one more broadcast this year. We're not sure which one we're doing. It's either going to be the 700th or the finale. So we'll see you then.
I think it's going to be 700, but thank you.
Well, we don't know. If you know that, that's great.
Said it. Yeah, that's true. You're gonna
we will see. We will see. Yeah. We'll confirm it soon anyway. But thank you and well done.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Cheers. We'll speak now to Al Payson. Al, how you doing?
All right. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. Your qualifying was a disaster. Tell us about it.
Well, yeah, that dreaded turn one. It really. I'd been worried about it, and so I think I just talked myself into outbreaking too late into that thing.
Yeah, well, P11 at the end of race 2, so it can't have all been bad. I mean, that final race, there was a lot of attrition, lots of drivers DNFing. I think 10 drivers DNFing in the end from race 2, so not ideal. But race 2, what do you think about the new kind of 2-race format that you've introduced to Fox Friday? Are you going to stick with it for the broadcasts or the regular edition? Are you still alternating? What do you want to do?
Well, we do alternate, and we're not going to give up the entire feature race things. I actually enjoy the longer races myself, but we've been doing it for the broadcasting because we thought it brought better racing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to both of the formats. The pros of running the longer format is that it is the traditional way that Fox Friday is run. You get the tyre strategy, you get the fuel strategy, but you're right, for the broadcast, people love to see a reverse grid start, don't they? I mean, it just adds a different dimension and another challenge to the drivers, and maybe something to spice it up once a month. So I think it's a good model to work with going forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I actually got to experience pole for the first time ever in my entire life, so.
Yeah, brilliant. We have been chatting about whether we're going to do another broadcast. We'll talk about it off air, of course, but hopefully we can come back on the screens to do one more before the end of the year.
Yes, it'll be our 700th.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, it's 700. I can't believe it. I've been involved for at least 550 of them or something like that. So that's a lot of Fridays.
It is a lot of Fridays. I've been involved in a fair few, but not quite that many. But I think we've broadcasted the 500th. Did we do the 600th as well? I know we've done some special anniversaries for Fox Friday.
We did the third.
We did the 13th
anniversary.
Anniversary.
Yeah, birthday. Yeah, we're coming up on our 14th in June of next year.
Unbelievable. Great stats. Well, yeah. Congrats on. When is the 700th? When actually is that race?
On the 22nd. So in 2 weeks.
2 weeks' time, 700th ever Fox Friday, an epic total. But yeah, did you enjoy your racing at KY3 tonight? It is a classic.
Well, starting in 32nd, it's always kind of tough. So I was happy to be able to finish 15th, which got me the pole for the next race. But I was kind of scared of that because I knew it was just going to be everybody just going around me. And I really didn't put up much of a fight because I didn't want to destroy anybody else's race. And I knew they're going to be faster than me eventually. And that's how you stay on the track, by not fighting so hard. So I'm happy to come away with 11th. I got some good points today, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, good points, and plenty of overtaking experience during race 1, which was good to see. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for having us along for the season. We'll chat offline about the final round of the year, but it's been a blast.
Absolutely, thank you guys, appreciate it, and as always, you do a great job. So hopefully we'll see you more in 2024.
Yeah, we hope so too. Cheers out, and we'll catch you later.
Happy holidays to you.
You too. Al Payson there for the Fragmasters team. And that's pretty much all we've got time for. Round 49 of the season is a wrap. That concludes the scheduled coverage of Fox Friday in 2023. But we hope to be back for one more before the end of the year, just to bring you a little bit more Fox Friday action on our channel. Speaking of our channel, do feel free to check out our website, simbroadcasts.tv, for the streams that we have coming up. Just 2 left on our calendar for the year, RTFR XL and GTI Thursday. But don't despair, we have Crashmas as well on December 26th. Hopefully that's going to be coming to you, and we'll have one more Fox Friday, hopefully, and the preview show for 2024, where we're going to announce our new regular season coverage for the new year. So from all of us here at Sim Broadcasts, thanks for tuning in to another Fox Friday. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like on our YouTube video. You can share it with your friends. You can follow or subscribe to us on Twitch, all the good stuff. We appreciate all your support, and we'll see you at the next one. From all of us here to all of you, have a great night. Goodbye.